How old are you, by the way?
I'm 19 right now. It was just cold calling like hours every day. It's kind of like a hustler's mentality.
No, did you take any advice from that and applied it in terms of the pay that strategy that we discussed together? You name one specific advice or one specific tip that we in our conversation that helped you pay that exactly.
So I always just say, if you have a mentor, it's just gonna solve all the issues a lot faster. I have a really good landing page where I qualify everyone. So far with this new funnel, everyone who's been a lead actually ended up meeting with me in a call.
Great.
I closed like 80% of meetings. It was really recently that I've been scaling to these 6-7K months.
You know, in the beginning you said that you basically run cold outreach or, relied on referrals. You didn't have like an exact strategy, an exact system for client acquisition yourself.
It was just cold calling like hours every day, and definitely wouldn't recommend it like long term. I mean, if you have no clients, like it's really kind of what you have to do to get your first one or two. I think you said it before when we talked. It's kind of like a hustler's mentality. It's not really a repeatable system. You're just going to be chasing down random phone numbers for hours a day. But in the beginning, I mean, it's what I did. It's what most people do, I think.
Exactly. Cool. And you said when we had our first conversation, and I found you like doing cold outreach, doing like a couple other things to get clients to like, hey, here's the pay dads framework that one of our clients follow in the dentist industry. Did you take any advice from that and applied it in terms of the pay dad strategy that we discussed together?
Yeah, I actually did. So when we had that discussion, I didn't know much about ads, but you basically gave like a little basic framework that I took to start running my first ads. And I actually didn't get success until I used one of this lady that records ads for me now too. So that's just a little tip also. It's if you get someone who is really trustworthy on camera, it will make a big difference as well.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 19 right now.
19, great. Yeah, that might be off. Like for some people to see a 19-year-old, trying to run a marketing agency. So that's kind of like a smart move to have someone record videos for you because I know for a fact there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's lots of agency owners that have like great systems. They'll deliver tons of leads, but they won't even get the opportunity in the first place. But because people might not trust them as much as another person who's just, whatever the reason is, they look older, they look more trustworthy. I don't know what it is exactly, but it definitely matters a lot of times who's actually delivering the ad.
Can you name one specific advice or one specific tip that we had in our conversation that helped you in pay dads exactly?
You got an agency right now that got proof of concept, meaning it's doing more than $3,000. You got clients, you're delivering results, and you want to scale past 30, 40K a month. And now check out my website below. You can see what we do. I don't want to bore you with more details in this video. Basically, what we do is we help people scale to 30, 40K a month. We take a commission out of them. That's how we make the most majority of our money, through commissions. And we also got very good risk reversal and guarantees that if you don't sign any new clients, you don't pay. Simple as that.
So in our discussion, something that I took away for paid ads was, it's probably the framework that I took away. I think you were discussing about starting with certain hooks, like calling out their problem, explaining how you're the solution, ending with a clear call to action. And now it seems like the basic framework across all ads I see, but until like someone actually broke it down like you, I didn't really see it. But now, I mean, once you know the framework, you look at all successful ads, you're like, this is what all of them are doing.
Got it. Wonderful, wonderful. And what would you say the first challenges that you had with paid ads when you just started? Like you never run paid ads. I mean, at first, I would assume that was scary at first. You would like burn through your budget and like, can I get any return investment back from that? Like, what was the first challenges that you had within, let's say, the first week or two running paid ads the first time in your life?
Yeah, so it's always going to be a lot of small things. You're going to have to deal with blocked ad accounts. You're going to have to deal with a lot of these small things. But that's why a lot of times I recommend having a mentor, just someone helping you out with a lot of these things, because it just takes you double as long to figure out a lot of the issues you're going to be struggling with in Facebook. I mean, anyone who runs ads knows how many small things you're going to have to deal with. So I always just say, if you have a mentor, it's just going to solve all the issues a lot faster.
Got it. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And the other question I want to ask you basically is how much you're spending right now currently on ads and what was the starting budget for you?
Yeah, so I'm spending around 600 a month right now in ads, which is definitely lower than most agencies. But that's just because it was really recently that I've been scaling to these 6-7K months. Before that, I was really struggling, like even just a couple months ago. But
is it $600 a month currently or $600 at the start?
So this is 600 at the end of the month. It usually ends up being 600, 700, but I'm raising it up as we speak because I'm starting to get more and more success with my ads. So we're upping the ad spend a lot currently.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So that's amazing because you spend about $20 a day And in terms of calls, in terms of like leads that you're getting, you have in mind what's your KPIs in terms of what's the cost per lead, what's the cost per booked call, your show up rate, things like that.
I'm spending about $30 for a lead, which is I don't really know. I haven't asked many agency owners what they're spending. Like I said, it's pretty recently that I've been scaling with ads, but it sounds not too bad because like I said, I'm charging around $1,000 per client and I close most of my clients. So $30 isn't too bad to pay for leads as of right now.
$30 per lead. And what would you say $30 per booked call per lead?
This is
Because
for
that's
leads. So far, I have a really good landing page where I qualify everyone. So far with this new funnel, everyone who's been a lead actually ended up meeting with me in a call.
great. So we'd say like $30 per booked call. That's amazing. So on what's your closure rates at the moment? Do you close yourself? You have a closer.
I close myself. I close like 80% of meetings, and this is for dentists, which is pretty hard. But like I said, with Suk showing me his sales framework a while ago, I mean, it really made it a lot easier. So
That's amazing, man. So 80% closing rates at $30 call, meaning like for every 10 calls you close 8 clients. That's great. Meaning you're never gonna like worry about being about to break even. You're always gonna be profitable on the front end, even on the front end on your ads, right? Which is more than
exactly.
amazing. Yeah. So right now you said you're at 7K a month almost. What's your strategy to get to 50K a month, 40K a month? Do you think you're gonna continue doing the same and then you're gonna just like scale exponentially? Or do you think you need to change your strategies for the next few months in order for you to get next level?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been thinking about a lot recently. It's how am I going to get from here to where I'm at now to 20 and plus that a month? And I think really just the difference, what took me from nothing to here is getting better at ads. And I think that's going to be the same way I'm going to scale past this here to 10, 20K is just improving my ads because the sales, like I said, I feel really confident once I have leads coming in, I can close them. I have a great service delivery. So it really comes down to getting as many leads through ads as possible to close them.
Absolutely. And I would say definitely for you, testing different angles and never let the ad fatigue, okay? Like different angles, different offers for dentists. You can say the same thing, but you say it in a totally different, twisted way, and it could sound like a brand new thing that nobody heard about. You know what I'm saying, right?
Exactly.
And always my advice on the ad testing, that's something that we use all the time, and that's how we like guarantee that we're not going to spend a lot of money and we're not going to burn money with and not get any results. So let's say we want the lead to be at $30 in order for us to just be profitable, right? So when first launch a brand new ad, we don't touch it for the first 48 hours, 2 days. We don't do nothing. We don't touch it, nothing at all. And then after 2 days, let's see if the lead is at 50% plus than what we wanted. Let's say we want it to be at 30, but it's at 40. If it's in that case, then we let it run because 3-4 days mark, can still have time to get the ad optimized and then get it down at 30, even more. If it's like 50% more, if it's like off the mark, let's say we want it to be at 30 and it's 50 or 60, it's like crazy more, then we just like shut the ad right away because even if we optimize the ad, we have to do a lot of things in order for us to get the budget really down. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah, that's something that you can use as well in your testing that could like help you like scale faster, which ad is just a failure straight out of the bat without like spending a lot of money into it.
Yeah, exactly. The first 2 or 3 ads that I ran that had no success, I thought just putting more money in was the issue, and that's definitely not it. I think I spent like 200 or so on each of the first 3 ads I did that just ended up getting no leads. And you should have just realized that a lot sooner. So if you spend like $70, you're not getting a lead. It's just the ad's not working. You got to test a new ad.
100%. What would you say your goals for the next 3 months from now?
Yeah, so I'm trying to scale to, I want to say 15 because that seems like a more reachable goal. And I'm
Definitely.
trying to hire on a person to build the landing pages out for me, someone to run the ads for me so I can focus more on getting more leads and closing them. And that's really all.
Exactly, definitely. And something as well that I think would easily take you to 50 grand a month, much you would think, is like selling growth infrastructures. I know you like to sell retainers. It's like the thing they've been doing for a while. It's like what everybody's preaching, but let's say, you have a couple case studies right now with all the dentists that you work with, right? And, you have like a basic retainer, $1,000 a month. What you can do is like say, hey, for some couple dentists, you can say, hey, like I see you have like a very big dental practice. They have money to pay. You can smell in the air that they're not like somebody who's like poor broke business owner. They have money to pay. Say, hey, we can sell you this growth infrastructure for you, the right ads inside your company and everything. We're going to do it for 2 months, and it's going to be $6,500 paid once. And what that would allow you to do is have a lot of cash, have a lot of your lifetime value of the customers up front. Okay. You have a lot of cash up front, which will allow you to fuel your growth in the ads, because for every client that would pay you $6,500, you can take this money, invest it back in the ads, and grow like crazy. That's something that we've been implementing, but it's not easy because you need to have tons and tons of case studies and tons of social proof and tons of testimonials that would allow the customer to trust you in this bigger growth infrastructure offer. But if you can pull it off, I think that will be a game changer for you to go from this 10K a month, 15K a month to doing over 50, 100K.
For sure. You just touched on two things I wanted to touch on. The niching down, of course, is super important. I mean, once you have case studies, it's just going to be 10 times easier to close the next person in that same industry. The other thing, you were just talking about pricing. That's what I started realizing a lot recently. I upped my price from 500 to 1200, and I realized a lot of the sales meetings, price isn't necessarily what's going to get them to say yes or no. If you did a good job, whether you're charging 1,000 or 2,000, that's not the issue. So I think pricing is definitely going to help you grow your agency a lot.
Exactly. Pricing, definitely price is number one, and having multiple offers to lean onto. Because I'm sure you have a lot of people say, hey, we're just starting out, like we don't have like the money to pay, for example, like $1,000 or $1,500, whatever you're charging. But they would probably, if you had a low ticket offer, let's say like a course package where you share all the knowledge you have and all case studies within your current dentist. So, hey, we're going to give you this. It contains, let's say, 20 ad variables, this and that. It will, basically it's a course that would allow you to run your dentist ads within yourself, and will charge like only $700 for it. And it's a low ticket offer. It's very easy for them to say yes to. It's paid once. And then you can also like put this person in your funnel, and they can always come back to you and buy your high ticket offers later on because they trust you with this low ticket offer. And it's two birds, one stone type of thing, because you make money on the back and you offset the cost. You don't lose this interested lead. They can always, you make money from them, and they always would buy your 20% of them would convert to your high ticket offer later on. It's just like the sales cycle might be longer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That all makes sense.
I think that's the next step that you need to add in your agency is have like 3 different packages, which number one, that's what we do right now. That's what allows us to scale. So that this thing would allow you to close like most of your sales calls. It'll be like very, very high close rates. Have a low ticket offer, have a medium offer, which is basically going to be a retainer or something, and have a high growth infrastructure offer. $6,500, $5,000, anything more than $5,000. Have this tree, and then you don't have to have everything perfect from the start, right? And then you can basically just experiment with these offers just on the sales calls. And I'm sure once you're going to sell your first high growth infrastructure for $6,500, that will give you confidence. Okay, I can literally charge this to clients, and they would be able to pay it. Why am I just focusing on the $1,000? Let me put some actions in order for me to get a lot of these $6,500 clients. Does that make sense? Because I'm sure what you're lacking is confidence, because I'm just projecting myself when I was in your shoes 2-3 years ago, when I never sold like high growth infrastructure. It seems impossible. Like, who the heck gonna pay me $6,500 upfront? It's like, it seems impossible, right?
Exactly. Yeah. When I was first starting off, it was honestly pretty crazy asking for $1,000 from a random dentist.
Yeah.
But like
yeah.
I said, it's all about confidence, and especially like if you have a good service, you should have no kind of problem asking for a lot of money, because for a dentist, I mean, if I bring them one implant case, that's worth $4,000 in itself. So it's definitely justifiable asking for that much money.
What would be your advice for, let's say, Mortis like a year ago, 2 years ago, if you had met yourself like 2 years ago, and with the knowledge that you have now about the agency, with where you're at now in terms of scaling your dentist agency, what would be the number one advice that you would say to yourself? Basically, scale faster, not waste time doing the wrong things. What if you can give like 1 or 2 advices? What these advices would be?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I touched it on a little earlier when I was first starting off. It was kind of just like a ton of randomness of outreach. And I think I carried that on for just too long. And I think that's what most people carry on too long. It's okay to cold call, send cold DMs the first like month or however long it needs for you to land your first client or two. But just don't let that be your actual module. Don't do that for 6 months, because you're clearly doing something wrong if you haven't scaled past a few clients for 6 months. So as soon as my recommendation is, once you have that first 2 clients, either get testimonials or just start practicing running your ads right away. Even if you're not that good at being on camera, you have to be good at camera. I mean, being good on camera. I mean, practice whatever it is, because you're just not going to scale to any real numbers off this random outreach.
Got it. And a lot of people have this misconception that ads are very expensive or they need like $10,000 in the bank in order for them to run their first ads. What do you say about that?
It's only if your ads aren't good that you're going to have to start spending lots of money, and that's not the best idea. So if your ads are actually good, like I said, you're going to pay $30-$40 per lead, and that's when you can actually have a system where you just have leads coming in and closing them. But yeah, you definitely know you don't need more than 800 or so a month. If you do, then your ads just aren't performing well.
Cool, man. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, you said everything perfectly. I think that's an incredible interview. We share a ton of value with people that start starting out.